Hi there, Claire Kennedy here. I've just finished filming the final video clip of my first online course. So I'm going to be starting the editing process next week, which is very exciting. But I've still got the studio set up for filming. So I thought I'd give you a little walkthrough of how I do this in case any of you are thinking about doing your own art process videos and maybe not sure where to start. When I first decided to start this YouTube channel a few months ago, I had absolutely no idea how to go about it. I had no idea how to film, how to edit, how to set up the camera so it's looking from above, how to even get the footage from my phone into my computer. Anyone who knows me will know I'm pretty tech challenged, to say the least. But I really love teaching. I used to teach a lot of in-person teaching. So I was really determined to learn. So I did a lot of research, asked a lot of advice, and from all of that, I've got this setup that works for me. It's pretty simple and basic, but it works for me anyway. So I'll show you it, and then hopefully it will help you too. So this is my studio, all set up for filming. But before we start, I'm just going to show you the most important part of the studio. It's around the back here. Here he is. This is Farley. He is always in here when I'm working. He's such a good boy. Anyway, I'll leave him to sleep a little bit there, and I'm just going to go back here, walking backwards, trying not to trip over anything. So this is my desk, looking a bit crusty. This was actually my dining table a few years ago. And over the top of my desk, you will see that I have a framework to attach the phone or the camera to. Now, this looks like it might be a bit of a faff to put up and take down, but it's actually really quick and really simple. So it consists of two lighting stands. Now, these were pretty cheap and lightweight. I have to say that all the equipment actually was the sort of cheapest I could find. I didn't want to have too much in the way of costs, and I thought that I would maybe upgrade as and when, but so far I found all this equipment to be absolutely fine. So these were pretty cheap lighting stands. They're, well, probably even flimsy, but I've actually found them to be absolutely fine. You can weigh them down with sandbags if you feel the need, but I've felt them to be, they're fine. Across the top, there is a pole. Now, this is a telescopic pole. Again, it's pretty lightweight. It's what photographers or studio photographers use to attach the backdrops. And it's just really simple to use because we don't need any clamps here. This just, I don't know if I can show you. Just sort of slots over the top of the lighting stands like that. So very, very easy just to set up. And in the middle here, I've attached the phone holder with a clamp called a super clamp, and that's just a few pounds on Amazon. So a really easy framework to make, and I find it much better than this, which is what I used to begin with, this kind of arm. I find this quite frustrating because when I was filming, it kept sinking like this, slowly sinking and moving, or else I would maybe nudge it. I mean, it might be okay if you're doing very small work like jewelry making or something, but I just find that to be quite frustrating. And I much prefer the new way, my new way. Although I don't waste this. This is actually very handy for when I'm speaking to camera. This is what I use when I'm speaking to camera. One little tip I would say. You see here I've got some masking tape here and up here. That's just to define the edges of the frame. When you're filming, it's quite easy to sort of forget that you're getting filmed, I suppose, and you can move the work, and the next thing you know, it's off frame. So that's just to remind me to stay within those edges. There was one of my videos, I think it was the one where I was showing my favourite paints and tools, and at one point I was a little bit off frame. So I sort of learned from that, so I always mark off the edges now. Lighting wise, this is a softbox light. Again, it was fairly inexpensive, but it does the job fine. It's a nice bright light, but nicely diffused by this cover, which goes on easily with the Velcro. Put this back on. There's a big bulb in there, and just be careful with that bulb. Don't do what I did when I took it out of the box, and don't drop it, because it literally, I mean, it just pulverized. It went into about 6 million pieces because it's such, fine glass. It just went absolutely everywhere. Thankfully, Farley was okay, but I did have to throw his bed out and get him a new bed in case there was any glass in there. So anyway, just be very careful with the big bulb. The other thing you will need is a microphone. This is what I use. Does the job fine. It's very easy. You just clip this to your clothes, and there's another little thing like this which just clips into your phone. Turn it on, and off you go, because it's wireless and very simple to use. Over here, I've got my computer, my laptop, my very elderly laptop. I do need to replace it, I think. This is what I do my editing on. And the editing software I use is called Premiere Elements, which is a sort of more basic version of Premiere Pro, which you may have heard of. So I've written it down here. In fact, I've written most of the things I use down here, just in case you want to take notes. The only thing I would say, and I don't think it's to do with the software, I think it's probably my computer which needs replaced and is probably not that powerful. But I have noticed a little bit of glitching, and you might have seen that in some of my videos. So I'm not quite sure what that's to do with, but the actual software is pretty intuitive to use. There are some great tutorials, YouTube tutorials on how to use it, and I taught myself through that. But as I say, there's some glitching issues, which if any of you have got any knowledge about this or any advice, I'd love to hear it. But for that reason, for my course, although I'm filming the whole thing myself, I'm going to get some professional help with the editing, because I obviously don't want any glitches to be there. So here is my studio. This is my setup. Very basic, very simple, pretty inexpensive, and it works for me. Well, I hope you found that to be helpful. I've still got so much to learn, but this setup works well for me at the moment. If you get any questions about this, just ask them in the comments, and I'll do my very best to answer them with my albeit limited knowledge. And if you're interested in the course which I'm filming at the moment, then just sign up to my newsletter. There's a link in the description below to be kept in the loop about that. It's going to be called Magical Minis, and it's a step-by-step on how to seamlessly merge your photography and your painting together to create a lovely wee mini original like this one. So thank you again for watching, and bye for now.